Here I have the most amazing person I have met in my life, Rebekah Welch Moorehead. Hi, Rebekah. Thank you so much for being here today and taking your time and coming to talk to me. I have so many questions about today's podcast, and I'm excited to talk to you.
Oh, Nish, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
So, today's conversation that we're going to have is all about money, abundance of money, and how people have relationships about money. So, I'm going to give you an insight about me, and I think you'll understand where I'm coming from when it comes to money. As a child, growing up, I've always seen my dad working so hard to make money to keep our family together because we actually ended up coming in from Africa when I was 6 years old. And my dad was only holding $100 in his pocket when we entered into Canada. At that moment, we had family members that we were staying with, which was really nice. And then he had to find a job so he could be able to build a family for us in Canada. So growing up, I've always seen my dad working very hard to bringing the life that he could give us as a home, as a family. And with all of that saying, things that I wanted in life were very difficult for me to get. It was all about, we don't have the money. We don't have that kind of style. It's expensive. We can't get it for you. I had to save up money, every birthday money, every year, everything I got. Anyone that gave me money, I would save it up just to buy something I wanted. If we wanted something, it would be secondhand that usually is given to us. It wouldn't be something brand new right away for us. So when we talk about money, and money was a big situation for me. So when I'm talking to you about money, I want you to give me the answers of how do you see money being energy more than you have to work hard for money? How do you see that?
Well, I'll say this, it took quite a while for me to come to that realization because like you, I grew up, money was tight. Um, I was raised by a single mother.
Mhm.
She was on welfare when I was little, government assistance, and raising two kids by herself. Put herself through school, to get a degree, to even still not be extremely wealthy. It was still like things were tough, even when once she had graduated, got a job. And so, well into adulthood, even, I'd say even just until the last few years of my life, I thought you had to go to school, get a degree, get a job. You had to work long hours to make money, and like that. It was hard. It was hard to be wealthy. It was hard to be even financially comfortable. Not even wealthy, just to be like where you could buy what you want when you want. So that transition of realizing that that does not have to be the case, that you can receive money from multiple sources, that you can decide how you want it to come to you, and that it really is more how you view money and think about money is how it comes back to you. That didn't come until maybe just the last few years of my life. And it's made such a difference, though. Such a difference. Just understanding that, to go from barely making it to the next paycheck. Like the food's getting scarce in the fridge, and we're like scraping our dollars because we know we get paid Friday or whatever it might be, to now where it's like, and I'm not like some seven figure like business owner yet, like I'm working towards that, but I haven't got there yet. But it's definitely a difference just in my thinking, and how I view money has like just completely changed, to where it's like now I see that money's always coming. Like no matter what, it's coming. And like I don't have to worry like I used to. I used to always be so worried, like, are we gonna have enough? what's going to happen? Like it was always a question.
How when you look at money in the situation, I've always been told freedom is expensive.
Mm,
Have you heard of that before? Freedom is expensive. There was a quote that I remember reading actually. It said, hold on a second, I need to get this for you.
yeah.
Freedom is not free. That's what it said. Freedom
Mm,
is not free. And honestly speaking, though it's not free, but when you're able to reflect on money, and you reflect on how you're going to get it, I apparently it's something that you can look at, feel it, and you're actually going to get it. So if you're going to live your life the way you want to live, understand the price is high and it does not come easy. However, the rewards are phenomenal. How do you feel
that's
about that?
beautiful. I I can fully see where they're coming from. Is that from a book?
No, it's just a quote that I was reading when we were talking about money. Do you remember
Okay.
that day you sat there, you did that beautiful speech about that money, and the first thing you asked everyone is, okay, turn on your computer or your phone, check your checking account. Tell us how much money you have in there.
Yeah.
And that just killed me. I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, I am not checking that money right now. I know how much money I have in there. I don't need to tell you how much that is, even if it's nothing. Like being a stay-home mom was a very difficult situation for me because for me, it was all about being the independence. I'm not working. I wasn't making money. I wasn't bringing anything in. What's wrong with me? Where am I? Why am I doing this? Why am I always the one asking my husband for money? Or why do I have to go to that situation? He's not my mom. He's not my dad. Why am I feeling this way? Until I learned that money, I have enough money. I have that money. I have it and I don't have to ask for it. If I need to use it, I can go get it. I can use it. I can have it. I need it. I have it. I wanted to do the Jennifer Jayde program. I was able to do it. I wanted to create my book. I got to do it. Things I wanted to do just came. The abundance just came because I believed and I knew I had it. Didn't come to me very long, really quickly, but it took time to get there. So when you told me at that time and at that moment, check your checking account, like let's ask anyone here that's listening, like check your checking account. How much money do you have?
Yeah.
How do you feel when you do that? So, you know what I mean? Like that really brought a lot of awareness to me. And when I saw that quote, it really brought a lot of joy. Like this is amazing. You know, people write a check for themselves, writing $100,000 and then putting that in their on their fridge. Like, does that work? What are the feelings that we need to feel? What are the things that we need to feel? How do we need to feel to actually feel the energy of money coming towards us?
Well, I think focusing on the feeling of abundance, even if it's not always the financial abundance. Um, I like to I like to do this, especially if I'm out like walking. Like I like to take walks in the park or like out in nature. And I love to think about like when you're looking around and you look at things like the grass or the leaves in the trees. And like, could you really sit there and count every one? Like even just in a patch of grass, a small patch of grass, like, are you going to sit there and count every single blade of grass? Like it's so abundant. And this is just one little space of grass or one tree. Like, would you sit there and be able to count all the leaves on that tree? It's like there's so many. And then if you start to think about all the grass in this park, all the grass in your town, all the grass in your state, in your country, like all over the world, how much grass is there? And it's like, it might sound kind of silly, but when you think about it and you're focusing on just how abundant it is, it's like infinite, the grass on the planet, right? Or the leaves on the trees, or the sand, all of these things that are continuous and abundant. And just putting yourself in the space of that awe of the abundance and infinite that we live in, keeping that energy, like, and yes, and money too. money is also infinite and abundant supply. And even when you don't see it in your account, knowing and remembering that there are an infinite number of ways that the universe can bring the money to you, and not just being focused on your usual sources. Because if I think about, I work at XYZ job and I make this much an hour, and I worked this many hours and I'm going to get this much on my paycheck. And if I'm focused on that as my only source, and I don't see the possibility of more coming in from more sources, then that's all I'm going to experience, because that's just all I'm open to.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love how you said that. That is so amazing.
Thanks.
That is really good. So when you actually go shopping or when you go out, it's just if you need something, just grab it. Do you even look at the tag or anything like that to see how much anything costs?
Um, I guess, yes, I do. But I think it's from a different place. Definitely a different place. Like, because I there have been times when I'm shopping and I know, like, I only have this much to spend. Like, that's all I've got. And maybe I'm needing multiple things. So I'm like, okay, I'm like doing the math as I'm shopping, right? So I'm like, okay, this is $3, this is $5, and I've only got 25 or like whatever. There have been times when, like, I've got to look at the tag, or at least I felt that way, right? Like, because I'm like looking at what's in my wallet and it's small, it's not very much.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at what I need and I'm like, oh gosh, I need to get this, this, and this. And I'm stretching. But I'm not in that place now. You know what I'm like? Does that make sense? Like, so it's like I might look at how much something is, but it's not from that scarcity. It's more of like a curiosity, if that makes sense.
It it does. It does make sense. Um, I totally get it. But when it comes to money, I guess for me, I'm still kind of learning in it. So it kind of gets me thinking sometimes how it actually does work. Here's something that really intrigued me with your conversation when you actually said some stuff. Growing up, like I said, my dad and my parents have always taught me to save money. So if you make money, put $100 here, put $200 here, and save up that money, save it. So when I got married and after I became a stay-home mom, I did have some savings that I was able to use. But then slowly that kind of vanished because I'm a stay-home mom. I'm not making any money, right? Well, at that point, that time. Then my husband doesn't have any savings at all. His savings are completely different than what I think savings are, honestly speaking. But when I see him and the abundance of money that you're talking about, I see it in him. I never used to,
Mhm.
I felt fear. I don't know if anyone else does that. I felt fear that if something happens, we're not going to be able to make things, we won't be able to make any amends or things that we can change. I felt scared that if we need to do something, we won't have the cash or the money for it. Because growing up, that's what I learned. That's how I learned it.
Yeah.
And I'll ask him about that. I'm like, why don't we have any savings? Like, where are our savings? And he's looking at me, goes, what do you need savings for? And I'm like, well, because if something ever happens, we have the money, we need the money. And you know what he said to me? And it made me feel so much like, what the hell are you talking about? So at that moment, at that time, he said to me, he goes, we have this house, we have this property, we have that property. If something happens, we can sell it, we'll bring the money in. We have equity in this house. We also have a basement suite that we can rent out. If we need to rent it out, there you go. The money's right there. If we need something, we can go grab whatever we need. We are very fortunate to be able to afford anything and everything that we want. So what is it that you need for savings? Because we have the money right now. We use the money that we have. Tomorrow, something happens, we can think about that at that time. But if anything did happen to me or him, just sell one of the properties and you have the money. It's right there. For him, it was so easy to say it. And for me, it was like, I still don't see the money. I just still don't see the cash. He goes, you don't need it. We have it. If you need it, we have enough of it. Why do you want to go and save up? What are you saving for? And that was his mentality. That was his way of thinking. And today, when I think of it in that way, I'm still like at wow, because for him, it just comes. It just
Yeah.
comes to him. He didn't have to ever worry about money. It just comes. And here I'm the one sitting at home with no money, not working. Yes, I'm using his money. Well, it's our money, but using his money to care. So until I realize that money is truly energy, it's truly the way you think. It's truly the way that you feel about money. If you really think you can't make the ends work, you will not be able to make those ends work. If you truly believe you can't pay for that mortgage that day, you'll never be able to pay for that mortgage that day. So until you change your mindset about money, will you see more abundance and more money somehow come to you? I still have issues with understanding that, but I'm able to say it.
And the more you say it, the more you'll believe it, right? Like keep saying it and keep saying it. And then it'll just be a natural thought to you. It sounds like to your husband, he sees like the assets and you're looking for cash in the bank.
Yeah, that's
You're
right.
like, where's the cash in the bank? And he's
That's
like,
right.
we don't need cash in the bank. We have assets, right? And maybe because you didn't grow up with those type of assets, it's kind of what I'm getting from what you said earlier. You're like, what is that? Like, and like you understand what it is, but you didn't grow up with that. So it's
No.
not ingrained in you like it maybe is in him. Maybe he grew up a little different.
That's right. And that's where the next part comes in, is the way that you've grown up and believed what your parents and everyone tell you is the way that you're going to grow up thinking about money and everything else. Right. And that's huge. So when some of your clients come to you and the things that you're doing right now to helping women understand money, what is one thing that you tell them that really gives them the aha moment?
I think that for a lot of people, just taking that dive into their childhood and upbringing can bring a lot of revelations because it may not necessarily be how much money you had growing up, like, what your family had or didn't have, but it can also be what kind of conversations were being had or not. Like some families don't talk about money. Like it's a taboo subject. We don't discuss who's making what or where it's coming from. But then in turn they don't teach their children how to use money, how to make it work for them. And maybe it's because they don't really know themselves. But taking that time to reflect and understand what you learned growing up, what you didn't learn growing up, what you saw, what you heard or did not, and realizing how that's created the habits and the mindset that you have now. And now we can make changes,
Yeah.
right? Like now we can adjust. Like, okay, I realize that my parents told me this. They always said we don't have enough. Well, that's why I'm always in scarcity mode because I grew up hearing there's not enough, there's not enough. And now we can say, okay, I can realize there is more than enough out there, and I'm ready to let it in and like getting to that healing process.
So it's the way that you think that will make it right, that will bring in the abundance. And it's not just
Absolutely.
about money, it's about everything.
Right.
Hey? It's about everything. It's not just about money, but money is a big thing for everyone. And as it's a
Mhm.
big thing, it's like to have freedom, to feel freedom, they say you need money.
I I can see that being true, but I can also argue with
I'd love to know that. Tell me more.
that.
Because when I heard that first thing, I was like, I didn't feel it either. I think
Okay.
freedom does not need money. But when they say freedom, to have freedom, you need money. Why
Yeah.
is that giving me a negative thought right there?
I think I can grasp it for you. So I feel like that quote is almost reflecting on buying your freedom. Like if you have enough money, you can do whatever you want, right? You can travel wherever you want, you can eat wherever you want, you can pay someone to clean your house, do whatever you want because you got the money. But at the same time, I think feeling the freedom now will more or less bring the financial freedom to you, if that makes sense. And so you don't necessarily have to have the money to feel free. You can feel freedom in, like, I feel freedom when I take a walk in the park. Like, that's freedom for me. I'm
Yeah.
out and feel the sun on my face and hear birds chirping, like all of that is like a sense of freedom for me. Um, and like I can feel the freedom. I feel blessed. I live in a free society where I'm able to like wear what I want to wear and dress how I want to dress. I have choices. Like freedom is a lot more than just what you can buy yourself or pay for. So maybe that's why it doesn't sit right with you because it didn't quite sit right with me either. I was like, free in a lot of other ways, right?
Freedom for me is just like you said, walking in the park, allowing that sun to shine on your face, showing this white beam coming right towards you. Meditation, I feel, is very big for me for when I feel freedom. I feel peace and joy. I feel like I'm getting all the good things coming towards me. Whatever I need in this world, whatever I need to survive, I'm getting it. I'm enjoying it. I have it. That is freedom, right? That's all free.
Right.
And when you say money is freedom, that also does make sense. Like you said, you could argue it both ways. Yeah, if you want to travel, if you want to eat, get it, I get it. You need to have that money, but you will get it. If you believe and you have that freedom that you are right now, you're going to receive that too. Money is abundance. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that topic. And I just love the way that you express freedom on that. And love the way you talk about it when it comes to money. Is there something that you want to say that would intrigue anyone when it comes to money?
Mm. I think one thing that I feel like I need to get out there, like it's one of those things that I have to help people with, like I'm being called to, is to get over the the feeling of guilt for wanting to be wealthy.
I
And
really,
I think there's a lot of people out there, and I can't say that I haven't felt this way before, that feel like wanting to have an abundance of money is wrong in some way. That wealthy people are evil and greedy and they just want all the money just to stack it up in the closet, just to hoard it from other people. And I really want to get out there that like having more money does not make you a different person. It's just going to amplify who you already are. And if you are a giving, caring, loving, generous person, having more money allows you to do more of that, to be more of that. So I think that's my biggest
I love
mission.
it. I love
To
it.
help people know that.
Don't feel guilty for wanting to be wealthy. Wealthy
Right.
people are not bad people. Wealthy people just know how to bring the abundance of money. And that is one of the biggest lessons that we're still learning. So when we learn that abundance, when we learn that, yes, some people do work hard to make the money, but that's their way of making their abundance of money. Whereas some people don't need to work so hard and they still make a lot of money. So that is another abundance and joy that other people are having. So it doesn't matter how you get it or where you get it from. The fact is that if you have it, you just know how to bring it inside of you and bring it into you. And I think that's a really big important. Nobody is bad. Don't feel guilty. I love it. Rebekah, you're also doing a course that I want other people to know about. You're doing a course on money abundance, and I want others to know what it is about and what you're doing and how they can get a hold of you if they're ready to take this course with you.
Oh, absolutely. So the course is called Live Your Vision, Manifestation Mastery, and it's diving into abundance in many forms. So monetary, um, but also holistically in life. So Live Your Vision is all about laying the foundation, getting into that mindset of you can be joyful, you can be happy, and you can have everything you desire, but those things that you desire, the life that you desire, does not create your happiness. Like we create the happiness first. Like
Yes.
we are happy as we are, and then we allow these things in. So it's all about really bringing the all the desires of your heart, the life that you want to have, whether the career, the health, bringing that what you envision to life so that you can actually live what you dream.
Oh, God, I just want to capture this. Live what you dream.
Live
Oh
what
my
you
God.
dream.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. And if they want to get a hold of you, they want more information, they want more
Um,
to do this, how would they get a hold of you?
yeah, so they can just go to my website. It is RebekahWM.com. And they can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Rebekah Welch Moorehead on Facebook, Rebekah.WM on Instagram. And it is Rebekah with a K. Everyone know that.
I will post all your information on the description
Awesome.
below. So if anybody does want to get a hold of you, they can. Money is abundance. That is one of my biggest topics today. And I'm so excited to be able to talk to you about that and to be able to share with you, my childhood and how it went through and how growing up changed that when I got married with my husband to realize what money meant to him compared to what meant to my family. And I can guarantee you that it's not just me. There's so many people out there that have that same issue, growing up with it's not enough. I don't have enough. I cannot buy that for you. It's too much. Don't worry about those people. They're too rich. They're not on our society. They're different people. They're not like us. And growing up in that form of life, you've always thought that you had to work hard. You had to become something in order to make the money. You had to get to, right? Dad always says, go to university, get your degree, get what you want, and then you'll be able to live the life that you want. But really, I don't think that's the answer to money. That's not the answer to money. Um, Money can come in all sorts of ways, not just because you have a degree. So, and I know a lot of people will agree with me, even though at this point right now, saying it to you made me feel so like, maybe you do need a degree. I don't know.
Oh, I
Uh,
hope not.
yeah, I hope not too. But thank you so much for being here, Rebekah. Thank you for talking to us about money and abundance and bringing this light to us because it's so, so important for everyone to understand.
Well, thank you so much, Nishma. I'm so happy to be here. I loved this conversation today.
You're great, Kristen, and I'm so happy that you're here with me. I love just bringing all these women together and making this so wonderful. So if anyone else is listening, thank you for listening. I hope you got some great insight from Rebekah. She's amazing. Her course is so divine. So if you do want to look into it and take it and get more abundance with money and fulfill your life the way that you want it to be, then she's the one that you need to go and check it out. Other than that, have a wonderful week and we will see you next week. Have a great day.